Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Into the record, the statement of the gentlelady from New York.
Without objection.
Cryptocurrencies are a crock. What social benefit do they provide? Well, they allow a few dozen men in my district to sit in their pajamas on the couch all day and tell their wives they're going to be millionaires. They help terrorists and criminals move money around the world. They help tax evaders. They help startup companies commit fraud, take the money, and 1% of the time they actually create a useful business. But then again, I dare say that some tiny percent of all larceny and crime helps finance something that turns out to be useful. It hurts the U.S. government in two ways. Our ability to have the dollar be the chief means of international finance is what has underpinned our ability to impose sanctions and stop tax cheating. And furthermore, when we have people take risk, we don't encourage gambling. We encourage investment in the real economy. But when you buy a Bitcoin, are you financing a new factory? No. You're gambling on its value for no social benefit. Now, I know that these cryptocurrencies are popular. They're popular with guys who want to sit in their pajamas and tell their wives they're going to be millionaires. And they're popular with those who have read Atlas Shrugged and Fountainhead and believe that these are the new canons, the new divinely inspired documents of our age. But they're harmful, and they're harmful in one other way, and that is, and I'm going to mispronounce the word, cinerage, is the benefit that the U.S. government gets by issuing currency. It is the float. It is the fact that we do not pay interest on newly created dollars. We lose that as well. And the Fed is able to return well over $50 billion to our Treasury in many of the recent years. We undercut that. And then finally, we've got these initial coin offerings deliberately naming themselves to lie to the public and convey the image that it's like an initial public offering. They stole the intellectual property and trademark of legitimate investing and applied it to a fixed, fraudulent gambling scheme of no social benefit. Aside from that, I think it's a good idea. I yield back.
Gentlemen.
Watch. Congressman accidentally admits cryptocurrencies threaten government's control over you. In what can be called a Freudian slip, a U.S. congressman accidentally admitted that the government is scared of the blockchain because it makes it harder for them to control you. By Matt Agarist, March 15, 2018. Washington, D.C. On Wednesday, the Subcommittee on Capital Markets, Securities, and Investment, Committee on Financial Services, held a hearing they called Examining the Cryptocurrencies and ICO Markets. During this ostensible examination, banker-owned politicians used their time to fabricate and perpetuate outright lies and fear about cryptocurrencies. At one point in the discussion, however, one banker shill accidentally admitted the real reason government doesn't like cryptocurrencies and the blockchain it threatens their control over you. Wednesday's hearing marked the first time Congress has attempted to tackle the regulatory issues stemming from initial coin offerings, ICOs. Georgetown University law professor Dr. Chris Brummer, Wilson Sonsini Goodrich and Rosati partner Robert Rosenblum, and Coinbase chief legal and risk officer Mike Lempraise were featured as witnesses to the hearing. During the 2-hour-long hearing, there were many positive points made by well-informed politicians who understand the value in the blockchain and in cryptocurrency. However, one banker-funded shill, Representative Brad Sherman, D.C.A., couldn't have made his bias and ignorance on the matter any clearer. Cryptocurrencies are popular with guys who like to sit in their pajamas and tell their wives they are going to be millionaires. They help terrorists and criminals move money around the world. Tax evaders. They help start-up companies commit fraud, take money, and 1% of the time they actually create a useful business, Sherman said, attempting to ridicule and shame the millions of good people who choose to invest in blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies. But that was only the beginning. As Sherman continued, he would slip up during his sentence and reveal the real reason him and his cronies in Washington don't want you to invest in the crypto world. It hurts the US government in two ways, Sherman said. Our contract. Sherman slips, about to fully admit that the government is scared of crypto because they cannot control you with it. Although he mostly came right out and said it, Sherman then clarified what he started to say by noting how the US government essentially uses the dollar as a weapon around the world and domestically to force their control. The dollar, as Sherman correctly states, is used to impose sanctions, aka acts of war, and stop tax cheating, making sure the government can get every dime possible off the backs of its citizens. Watch for yourself below as this banker shill makes this bombshell admission. Calling Sherman a banker shill is not an exaggeration either. When we look into who is financing his campaigns, it becomes entirely clear as to why this man is taking to the podium to perpetuate lies about the blockchain. One of Sherman's top contributors for 2017 to 2018 was Allied Wallet, which is a global payment gateway for government-backed fiat. They are directly threatened by the far more efficient and far more private payment systems that exist using blockchain technology, which explains why they have their puppet shaming people for using it. It is also no coincidence that the top industries funding Sherman are all securities and investment firms, which make up the bulk of his campaign income. The good news is that Sherman is a dinosaur. While the hearing appeared to be split down the middle over their perceptions of the blockchain, some members gave heartening testimonials as to what's to come. Representative Tom Emmer, a member of the Congressional Blockchain Caucus, made the fear-based opponents of this revolutionary technology look like the shills they are. I tend to trust people and believe that they're in these things for good, and that they're trying to improve their own lives and hopefully the lives of people around them, that old adage that a rising tide lifts all boats. And yet I hear elected officials who don't have any concept of what we're dealing with here and how exciting it is, talking about how we got to regulate and create more government infrastructure. I respectfully disagree that won't act as a wet blanket on this amazing new technology. I realize there has to be some regulation, but there's got to be balance, Emmer said. And he is correct. Blockchain technology is already has been changing the world for the better. OneCoin, in particular, Dash, is bringing commerce to poor countries in Africa and South America while at the same time funding alternative media projects to make sure the establishment is not able to maintain their grip on the flow of information. Anonymous donors are funding breakthrough science that government would never support and donating millions to charities, all because of the blockchain, hardly the work of terrorists and money launderers. View image on Twitter. View image on Twitter. Chamber of Digital Commerce. At Chamber Digital. At Rep. Tom Emmer, lawmakers should keep in mind the power of #blockchain to empower people all over the world, and the potentially life-saving applications for #healthcare, #food safety and more in the US. #DC Blockchain. 4:20 p.m., March 8, 2018. 25. See Chamber of Digital Commerce's other tweets. Twitter adds info and privacy. Make no mistake, those who are threatened by cryptocurrencies are not that way because they want to protect you from terrorists or poor investments. One need only look at the megabanks who are caught laundering money for terrorists all the time and never face consequences. These same banks are also caught in massive schemes designed to rip off their customers, stealing billions in the process, and no one ever goes to jail. Like Sherman admitted in the video above, the establishment is scared of the blockchain because it gives control using radical transparency instead of government secrecy back to the people.
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is. As you can see right here, Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt-free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.